Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the big news show with me, Mr. Ben Bailey. How's it going, everybody? Guess where we are? We are, in fact, live from Vic's Bar. This bar built by me and dedicated to the late, great Mr. Vic Henley. Good friend, hilarious, great comedian and storyteller, all-around good dude. Never got to sit at this bar and have a beer with me. So I dedicated it to him. It's his bar, and we're hanging out at his bar on this, the 38th episode of the Big News Show with me, Ben Bailey. It's not so big, it's not so new, it's not so much a show, but it is the Big News Show. Let me say hello to all you guys. I see Red, I see Con, I see Kelf, I see Kimon, I see McBangus, I see Spinal Bifida. Who else do I see? Crystal Noda. Deathstruction. Wait, I over-scrolled. Hi, Marta. What's up? Kelf. Interstellar Frequency. And some of these, I'm sure, you guys just changed your names. Hello, Patricia Bradshaw. Hello. Cohort 127. Weird comment about an ambulance rescuing you, cohort. You got T-boned by the cab. All right, cohort is lighting it up tonight. A lot to say. Interstellar Frequency, where do you come from? Cash Cab doesn't know you anything, cohort. It doesn't even know me anything. There's the werewolf. Alexandros Werewolf says you are a good person. Thank you. I don't know if you're talking to me, but I'll take it. Cohort 27, chatting it up. Gordon Nash, what's up? Happy birthday. Happy anniversary of your birth. Oh, it's Gordon Nash's birthday. Hey, happy birthday, Gordon Nash. Thanks for hanging out with us on your birthday. What's up, the idiots? How goes it? I'm scrolling back. I'm trying to get to everybody here. Super psyched to be back. Crystal Noda is excited. Come on. There's Elizabeth Fahey all the way at the top. Thumbs up and a heart. Definitely will be tuning in. And now we're all caught up with that. So what's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Let's have a drink. It's a Cash Cab drive-by, folks. Those of you that are new to the show, that means follow the instructions on the screen. It's time for you to drink your drink. Open up your face hole and pour some delicious beverage in. Be it beer, be it water, be it whiskey, be it wine. You take a sip of yours, and I'll take a sip of mine. Yeah, and little version of me does not come up for some reason. Interesting. I'm not sure why. I knew there was something I was forgetting when I was trying to fix stuff. Hopefully I got the music better. Don Galler says, sorry I'm late. Can we start over? You can start whenever you get here, man. You might not be live in real time, but you'll be a little bit behind, and that's okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ben. I will be listening as best as possible to the show. Kind of preoccupied with my KC game. Yeah, that's right. Good luck to you. Good luck. I got fed up during the early game. I shut it off. I was pissed. There's Lance O made it. What's up, Lance O? We might have low numbers due to the NFL Division Championship games that are being played today. Cheers and happy Sunday, folks. It's the Big News Show with me, Ben Bailey. Con, you're drinking formula? The cabs are coming in. Some of you guys were saying you missed the little cab going by, so here it is. Kelf, you knew it was coming. You are a psychic. Absolutely, you're a psychic. I bet you didn't see this coming. All right, here's a good one. Movie quote, first one tonight. Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Audio, video, all clear. That's fantastic. Anybody want to take a guess? What's up, Fancy Pants? Can't believe the Niners. Don't believe it. The refs won that game. The other idiot is trying to hit me with an electric bat. Okay, first of all, idiots, what is an electric bat? That sounds like pretty fantastic to me. Con is a big baby, drinking from a bottle. That movie quote was, Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. We'll be accepting answers anytime you'd like to turn them in. Please get your answers in quickly, as we are speeding through the universe. What's up, Desi? Desi Sila in the house. Lance, I was saying hello to the little cab. Whoa, slow it down, baby. Woo! Interstellar Frequency has a question for me. You just reminded me of another movie quote with that. Little cab in the house. Let's take a viewer question, since there's a good one there. Marta Weller just, first of all, we'll come back to the viewer question, because Marta, you just murdered the, you just murdered the movie quote. Casablanca, Humphrey, like there's any other Humphrey, and the character is Rick. You nailed it. So now a viewer question. Did you get to keep the cash cab van? It's the question from Interstellar Frequency. I think most of the people on here know the answer to that question. I think. Do you guys want to answer? I mean, you guys are writing in from outer space, I'm assuming. Electric bat made for killing flies. Okay. Deathstruction. You haven't seen Casablanca? Electric bat or electrified bat. Cattle prod. Miskin blowing it up. Mizkin. Sorry, Ms. Mizkin. Boom, boom, boom. Whee, says Red. You bet, Gordon Nash. Happy birthday, brother. The other idiot says, I am here against my will. He stole me from my house, but I'm enjoying this anyway. All right. That's the thing about idiots. You know, you drag them along, and then they'll have a good time. Because they're idiots. They'll forget that it's not where they really want to be. You know why? Because they are idiots. They are idiotas. Idiotsa. Oh, I missed the cue. Wait, people are voting? What are you voting for, Interstellar? Ben's got that beast in the garage. That's right. I knew you guys knew. The answer to that viewer question is, yes, I do. I have the old cash cab. It's in the garage. It has got a bunch of stuff in it that I don't know what to do with. It's got, like, you know, junk that was piling up, and I'm like, I don't know where to put this. Oh, well, there's that old minivan, and I've just, like, loaded it up. It's a storage pod right now, which is kind of sad. It's kind of a sad fate for the old cash cabber. So I don't know. I thought I might sell it. Here's another thing I was considering, you guys. Tell me if you think this is a good idea. I was thinking of taking the cash cab on a cross-country cash cab comedy tour and driving it from, like, one city to the next, going, like, live online while I'm driving, and I would bring, like, a couple of comics with me. And we'd drive the old cash cab around, and then we'd, like, pull into, you know, whatever city in the old cab, and, you know, we'd drive some people around. We could pretend we're going to play. Kira, what's up? Welcome. So, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, there's a fairly substantial delay, I think, on these, because you guys are, I'm just getting the harmonica responses here, and that's several minutes ago now on this end. Well, at least like 2 minutes ago, something like that. Barnacle Bill the Sailor. I don't know. It wasn't really a known tune. It was, you know, I'm just making it up. I was improvising on the harmonica. We have big news around here. We're connected to the town sewer. Hell forking, yes. Cash Cab Comedy Tour sounds awesome. That'd be a show I'd watch. Okay, those are pretty positive. Any hope for Cash Cab coming back? I don't know. I haven't heard anything. What kind of junk is there in the Cash Cab? I don't know. There's like an old set of speakers and like some storage bins. There might be like a year's worth of plastic bags in there. Because the plastic bags, and I'm sure you guys know this, they're like a monster. Like they just build up. All of a sudden you're like, oh my God, there's an entire cupboard, board for cups. There's an entire cupboard filled with plastic stuff. Schadenfreude. How dare you take pleasure in the misfortune of others? Comedy Cab, the road trip, live. Yeah. It was, the name I had was Ben Bailey's Cross Country Cash Cab Comedy Cavalcade. Because cavalcade, you know, it starts with a C also. I think it might be a K. Sell it to Netflix. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like a weekly, and so it's like a travel show, too. You know, we roll into town, we meet some locals, we offer them a ride around. Then we find the best coffee in town and the best foodstuffs. Drive that cab with comedians to Reading. Now, are you coming to Reading, Marta? Let's take a look at the, let's go to the board here and take a look at the dates that are coming up. Let's go to the big board, and I'm going to refresh this because I think there might be some dates that we've added. As of right now, Kansas City Improv, which is north of Kansas City in a place called Zona Rosa, which is just the way that I like to say it. That is next weekend. That is February 3rd and 4th. February 10th, I'll be at the historic Everett Theater in Everett, Washington. February 11th, the very next night, I'll be at the Chalet Theater in Enumclaw, Washington, or Numclaw, or Umclaw. I'm going to find out how you say that. I'm going to find out how do you say that when I go to that place. Then Pottstown, PA, Soul Joel's, Friday, February 17th. Got to come to that one, you guys. That's going to be awesome. Peoria, Illinois, the Jukebox, the good old Jukebox in Peoria, Illinois, March 10th and 11th. Incidentally, I'll be at this agriculture thing down in Orlando the day before that, which is March 9th. March 23rd, the Candlelight Theater in Wilmington, Delaware. It's actually in Arden, Delaware. April 14th, the Funny Bone in West Des Moines, Iowa. That's right. The very next weekend, I'll be at the Riot in Houston, Texas. That's April 21st and 22nd. April 29th, the Wall Street Theater in Norwalk, Connecticut. May 6th, 6th de Mayo at Reverb in Reading, Pennsylvania. May 12th and 13th, the St. Louis Funny Bone, Westport Plaza, St. Louis, Missouri. The United Theater, just added, Westerly, Rhode Island. The United Theater, June 10th. That's a Saturday. Comedy at the Carlson up in Rochester, New York, June 16th and 17th. And way in the distance, McMenamin's Elks Temple in Tacoma, Washington on September 29th, followed by McMenamin's Crystal Ballroom in Portland, Oregon on September 30th. Now, I want to tell you guys that there are more dates coming. Specifically, there's going to be what looks like a Sacramento-San Francisco double header thing happening, and Hawaii. It looks like I'm going to be in Hawaii. These things are not definite yet, but they're close. They're a pretty good idea that I'm going to be going and doing some shows in Honolulu toward the end of May. If you do go over to the website, the realbenbailey.com, make sure to check out the Shopify store, which you should be looking at now. Look at that. You ought to. There's all sorts of stuff. There's hoodies and notebooks and T-shirts and a bunch of different merch from the show here. Anything that you buy on here, as most of you guys already know, A percentage of the proceeds goes to Share Our Strength, our favorite charity here in these United States, helping people that are hungry. And a pound of water will be pulled from the oceans on your behalf for every single order that you put in. So order up. It's silly stuff, but it's fun. Oh, wait, hold on now. Looks like somebody paid me. I've been paid. Who paid me? Elizabeth Fahey, $5. That earns you an explosion, and I say thank you very much. Oh, yeah, and I got your picture of the Sparkle Bark puzzle, by the way. And I showed it to Sparky, and he was like, yeah, so. That's literally what he said. I know it's a little bit rude. But this is episode 38, so let's talk about that a little bit. That's right, it's time for Emma's favorite segment. It's numbers. Tonight's number is, of course, 38. Because this is the 38th episode of The Big News Show, we're talking about the number 38. It is the atomic number of strontium, which I think most of you probably knew. Enumclaw, says Schadenfreude. Ben, I'll be in the front row for Wall Street Theater, Norwalk. Con, yeah. A pound of water pulled directly from the ocean. Is that what I said? It's a pound of plastic. Did I say it wrong? We're pulling a pound of water out. Maybe I did say that. We're going to remove a pound of water from the ocean. That's not very much water, honestly. The atomic number of strontium. 38 is the atomic number of strontium. The 38th Presidente of these United States was Gerald Ford. That's right, Deathstruction. I love it. 38 reasons Emma loves this segment. Gerald Ford, when he took office, he said, I assumed the presidency under extraordinary circumstances. Because, his predecessor was like, I'm out. Busted, and I'm out. A 38 Special is not just a rock band with such hit songs as Hold On Loosely and Rockin' Into the Night, if I remember right. Rockin' into the night, rockin' into the night. Hey, there's Emma chiming in. She says, hello, awesome people, which I think is for you guys, not for me. 38 Special. People that say a 38 Special, that's a gun, right? No. 38 Special is a band that's not named for a gun, but for ammunition. And it's the size of the bullet casing. It's actually a .357, which later became the .357 Magnum smokeless bullet. I prefer my bullets to be smokers. I mean, they're going out anyway. They might as well enjoy a couple of drags, you know what I mean? But yeah, 38 Special is a type of ammunition. Hawaii show is not booked yet, but it looks like toward the end of May, you idiots. Idiot 2 may be there, and I might force him to go. Well, all right. Will you be wearing your idiot number 2 shirt? A 38-sided object is called an octatriacontagon, which sounds like you can't make that. Try as you might, you can't make an octatriacontagon. Can you picture that? Octatriacontagon in your head? 38 degrees warm for a winter day. Emma says it's worth coming just for all those hellos. Hello, hello, hello. Laura Misgan says, today my brother adopted a shelter dog whose previous owner named her Sparkles, and it reminded me of you guys. Hello, Sparkles. Sparky says hello to Sparkles. Vape bullets now. I'm not sure what that means. Coho 27, you're booing me. You could find someplace else to hang out. That's fighting words. Took my dad to a 38 special REO Speedwagon and sticks. Nice, fancy pants. What's up, by the way, if we didn't say hello earlier? Be funnier. Go somewhere else, cohort 127. We don't want you around here anymore. I'll kick you out. For reals. You're going to heckle me? This is a hang. Go watch something else if you're not enjoying it. We will weed you out and keep you from coming back, if that's your attitude. You go be funnier and laugh at your own stupid jokes. Players who wore the number 38 in the NFL, Eugene Daniel, hockey, NHL, Pavel Demitra in the NBA, Mickey Moore, and allegedly greatest soccer player to have won. All right, there you go. Cohort sucks. That works. That's better. You don't have to beat yourself up now. Don't be one of those. Just be nice. It's not that kind of thing. Don't come in here and talk shit. That's not what we're doing. And nobody wants to see it. Soccer, a guy named James Milner is apparently, I look these things up, but, it's not like I have a whole research crew, so. And that's it for numbers for episode 38. Okay, thanks, cohort. He says he's a big fan here. Maybe give him a chance. Pickris Burton, what is up? Time for another drink, I think, you guys. Drink your drink. 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 Took 38 episodes for me to make a little sing-along for that. That's a bit of a long time, you guys. Cheers to you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching and or listening. I hope you guys are enjoying it. The show is available as a podcast on Audio Boom, which then puts it out like pretty much everywhere else. Somebody looks like he got blocked. Was he like trying to make amends? I mean, it could be a gal. My face hole is poured up with the drinks. All right, cohort did not get blocked. Emma says, I'm giving cohort a chance to come around. But one more strike, and you get a timeout, cohort. All right. Eat it, Emma. Oh, fuck. You're out, buddy. Bye-bye. I don't think you're even going to come back. Jeez. See what happens? You give people an extra chance. Deathstruction. Yeah, honey whiskey with cherry coke, cassis or Red Bull cactus dragon fruit. Don Galler says, I believe that antagonism builds character. Okay. Well, you can go and utilize that philosophy back in the 1950s. Were you a gym teacher from the 1950s with a drinking problem who beats his wife? Sorry, was that too far? Don't stop to think. Just drink your drink. I like that, Kelf. I like it. I like it. McBangus, I love it. You see what happens, Larry? This is what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass. McBangus, you better jump right in on that one. Who gives a fuck? Dump his IP, con. Speaking of hang, with all the censorship going on, are kids allowed to play the game Hangman at school? You know what, Fancy Pants? I don't know. I do not know the answer to that. It is kind of a macabre little game for kids to be playing, right? Kill the man. Get it right, or, Big Lebowski says Pickris Burton. Big Lebowski, but who? Movie quotes are a 3-part answer, you guys. I didn't play the blues for cohort, who's all alone like the Hulk. The idiot too. What the frick did I just hear? Oh, someone says nicely put, Emma. Kevin's Bacon Bits. There you go. Big Lebowski. Walter Sobchak. We need the actor, man. I know you know who it is. McBangus, you started this whole thing and then you didn't answer. Here's a question. Let's take a viewer question real quick, because I kind of like this one. From FC Guy 7. Let me ask you this. Was FC Guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, were they all taken? FC Guy 7 says, hiya, Ben. And I say, hey, back. How much do you think your parents are an influence on your comedy style? I find that an interesting question. The answer, of course, is no, none at all. 0%. No. My dad was always a very sarcastic and funny man. Had a lot of stories. Started telling me jokes that I didn't get, that I shouldn't have been hearing really when I was probably too young. And then I would go and, definitely too young, and then I would go and repeat them. Even though I didn't totally understand them, I would go and repeat them in school. And I would get laughs. The other kids would laugh even though they didn't really necessarily get them. But so, a lot, I'd say probably quite a bit, a fair amount. A fair amount of influence, mostly from my dad, although, the creative writing side of it definitely would have been influenced by my mom, because my mom is a writer and still is. She still writes stuff. Now, it looks here, so good question. Thanks for that. I see there's a payment of $4.99 from somebody. There's the $5 that we already addressed. And then there's a $4.99, and it is from someone, but I cannot get to it. Oh, there it is. It's Interstellar Frequency. $4.99 just came in from outer space, and you get one of these. Thank you mucho, Interstellar Frequency. Your donation to tonight's program is thoroughly appreciated. How's that for an official sounding kind of thing? Not so great? Fair enough. I'll accept that. Let's go to the beach for a minute. Just sit back and relax. Enjoy the sound of the waves. Enjoy the calypso band that's playing on the beach. All right, and we're back from the beach. I hope you enjoyed that little trip to the beach. Back to the beach, y'all. I kind of like that little bit there. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me scroll back here and see. Marta loves the harmonica. Thank you so much. I am curious, where did you put the roof light switch at for the cab to scare the fares before the show? Did it work the way it was intended to? So, you know what? There's another viewer question. Where did you put the roof light switch in the cab? Where was the switch located for the ceiling lights? To scare the fares before the show. I'm not sure about that part of the question. Did it work the way it was intended to? The switch was right up next to me, so I was controlling that part of it. And I would just, time it. I'd try to wait until I caught them at a point where they weren't expecting anything. And then, bam! And it was designed to, get a reaction out of them. So it comes in hard. Bam! Horns. Big horn section. Bam! And then I turn around. Yeah, you're in the catch cab. So I guess the answer is yes. it did work the way it was intended to, because it definitely made people jump. And, eventually when people knew that part of the show, we would get like such a huge reaction out of people when we did that little part there. So thanks for the question. Good question. I hope I answered it thoroughly and completely. Deathstruction says, I got most of my comedy influence from my dad, British humor. Pythons, you mean Python? Or the Python, plural, you're saying plural in the movies. Faulty Towers and Mel Brooks movies. My brother got me into Black Adder. Yeah. Well, I watched and appreciated all those things as well. I don't know. I think I'm influenced by movies and other... Probably movies. Movies were my escape as a kid. I wasn't huge into comedy as a kid. There's a couple things that were like really big, and like Eddie Murphy's Raw special. Like everybody watched that, right? And Dice was big, like mixtapes when I was in college, but like I was never like a lover of comedians. I was one myself, and I long before I really was. And, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was like doing some bits that I had heard other comedians do, and I sort of adopted them as my own little parts of my own little routines that I, this is before I was a comedian. And it took me a little while to figure out later what was what and what I couldn't do. But I did. Eventually, I learned that. And I've talked to the people, because they're actual people. Turns out. They're not just little things on your TV when you're a kid. They're actual people out there. Went to look for flies to whack with the electrified racket. Now, that sounds like a good way to get them. But let me ask you this. If you're actively going out and looking for them, this is beyond like controlling pests in your area. Like you're enjoying the kill. You're doing it for the pleasure. Can you imagine that lighting in LEDs light up half of downtown New York? Don't know what that's about. Laura says when the accents were starting to become mumbles toward the driver's window. Yeah, this is me trying to hide from them so they wouldn't figure out it was me, Crystal Noda says, I watched Red Skelton, Lucy, Dennis Leary. Well, that's a jump. But most favorite was George Carlin. Well, sure, yeah. I mean, Carlin and Gallagher, nice. Mel Brooks and National Lampoons were huge favorites, yeah. Spaceballs is your all-time favorite, huh, Fancy Pants? I don't rank that among Mel Brooks' best, but there are funny things in it. And some very quotable things. Con says Benny Hill. Yes, I loved Benny Hill when I was like 15. Not just for the women that were constantly in it being paraded around, but because it genuinely made me laugh. Crystal Noda says your mother's a hamster, and your father smells of elderberry, of elderberries. Is that a movie quote? All right, Crystal, I'll play, but I don't know what it is. Mel Brooks' Deathstruction says, Mel Brooks is awesome. I love most of his movies. High Anxiety, Silent Movie, History of the World, etc. What about Young Frankenstein? You can't even talk about Mel Brooks in my world without mentioning first and foremost Young Frankenstein. The idiots say he's an idiot. He wants flies in the house just so he can kill them. Well, at least you know what you are over there, you guys. Benny Hill, Monty Python, Dave Allen at Large, and Paul Hogan. What an interesting, eclectic mix of people. I don't even know who Dave Allen at Large is. I don't know any size Dave Allen, for that matter. You can elaborate if you'd like. Love the first few years of SNL and Second City TV, and, of course, Robin Williams. Kelf says, hey, well, you guys are lighting it up tonight. This is great. Love the first few years of SNL. Is not ready for primetime players, of course. I mean, Monty Python are kind of in a league of their own, right? the producers, of course. But like the not ready for primetime players, those guys are maybe are probably on that same level. Like those two groups. All right, Deathstruction didn't mention Young Frankenstein because it kind of goes without saying. I guess, yeah, that's fair. Marta says, but way before them, Red Skelton, Carol Burnett, Jack Benny, and Jimmy Durante. Nice. Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. Look at me showing me age a bit. Where does Mel Brooks's Robin Hood Men in Tights rank for you? By the way, FC guy, I saw your thing about your name. I appreciate you answering my question to you. The Mazda RX-7. Men in Tights has got some good stuff in it, but on Mel Brooks' list, I think it's pretty far down. I fart in your general direction. Monty Python, always coming up. Dave Allen was an Irish comic on TV in the 70s. I don't know that guy. Maybe I'd know him if I saw him, but I was a little kid then. But yeah, the Monty Python movies, Life of Brian, Meaning of Life, Search for the Holy Grail. These movies made my friends and I laugh so hard. I mean, over and over and over. They're just so good. And then the TV show, of course, had its great stuff too. The story goes that those guys came and were doing live shows around the U.S. and they were annoyed and befuddled by the fact that the crowds knew their routines and would be like calling them out with them. And that would really throw you off. I mean, that's flattering, right? The sincerest form, as they say. But that could throw you off if people were like calling out the same, like, wait, you're not doing this. I'm doing this. Crystal Noda has a question for everybody. Does anyone here remember a British show called Thank You for Staying With Us? That sounds kind of familiar to me. Thank you for staying with us, but I don't know. Carol Burnett, the Carol Burnett show, Lance O, and you're not the first one to mention it here tonight. Awesome. The Carol Burnett show, those guys were so funny. Carol Burnett, Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, and Vicki Lawrence too, but in my opinion, the other three were kind of on a different level. No offense, Vicki, you're very funny, of course. But they're so funny, they're just cracking each other up. Like those guys were just hilarious. They were just having so much fun, and it was silly. Like the idiots have got a movie quote for us. I'm going to have a lump there, you idiot. Who throws a shoe? Honestly. All right, I'll give it to you. Is anybody else going to guess? Lance always wanted to be a lumberjack. Well, I'm a lumberjack, and I'm okay. I work all night, and I sleep all day. I chop down trees, I wear high heels, suspenders, and a bra. I wish I'd been a girlie, just like me dear papa. Now, I was quoting another movie while I was playing that for someone else. Kelf, the Flip Wilson Show. Okay, when I was like, I don't know, 10 years old, I managed to get a TV in my room, which is a great story, which I'll share with you guys at some point. And I was supposed to shut it off at a certain time, and I would shut it off, and then I would put a blanket over the TV and over me and turn it on super low and sit there and watch TV when everybody else was asleep. And the thing that would be on, I had like 2 channels. I had to change the channel like clunk, clunk, clunk. I literally had 2 or 3 channels that I could get. We had an aerial antenna on the roof. And I think maybe I was able to tie into that. But the show that would often be on would be a rerun of the Flip Wilson Show. And he'd come out and sing, catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away. And he would come out as Geraldine. And it was a variety show and a funny show, and I think he was a little bit of an influence. That period where I would watch that show because it was what I got didn't last that long, but when it was on, I loved it. And I also, especially in retrospect, I also loved the plane flying and the national anthem, and then static. This is an experiment. Nice. What's up, JDD? The second? Is that JDD2? Welcome. A nice Monty Python quote. I used to put a blanket at the door to block light coming out from under it. Yeah, I had a blanket over everything. Same idea, same concept. Yes, I love that TV basically raised our generation. Totally. We would race home from school, and we would jump on this big couch that we called the pit. It was the first sectional sofa that anybody in my neighborhood had ever seen. We had it. It was like not super fantastically made, but it was great because, we were kids and we could move it around and make forts out of it. But we would race home and pile into the pit and watch MTV. Before that, it was like Scooby-Doo and, but it was like TV. Yes, Schadenfreude. Lucky I didn't set the sheets on fire. You would have enjoyed that, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you have? All right, so the story of the TV, and I think I might have told this, maybe on Working From Home, or maybe even I don't think I have, though. My stories, I've told them so many times. I lose track of what I told you, of what I've told to who, We had a store. There's still grocery stores in this area. You know what? I'm thirsty. Let's have a drink first. Your drink, drink your drink, drink your drink. Drink your drink your drink. Cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday night. Thanks for hanging out. About to tell you a story about when I was a little boy. And this is a story that sort of set me along the way. Of kind of believing that I could get stuff if I really wanted it, and I went after it. So, yes, cheers, everybody. Time to get loaded. Depends what you're drinking, and if that's your goal. Skål, Marta Weller. We had a grocery store in our hometown. It's called King's. They're still around. It's a high-priced but very high-quality grocery store in the area in which I live. They have a hilarious little tagline. If you call, they say, thank you for calling King's, where inspiration strikes. Like, really? What's up, Jeffrey? Thank you very much, Jeffrey Janseric. If that's right, I hope you had a good weekend. I did have a great weekend. Very nice weekend. But so, King's grocery store, when I was a kid, they had green stamps. You'd shop there, and then you get green stamps for, however much you purchased. So we would load up all the carts, and then we'd get a little pile of green stamps. Then you take them home, you put them in a little book, and you save up the books. When you have a certain number of books, they actually had a store that you would go to, and then you could spend the stamp books at the store. So it would be like, a toaster oven, 16 books, or, I don't know how many books. But so we went, my sister and I, we licked these things, we put them in books for I don't know how long, a year. And we took them into the little shop, and we looked around, and finally we settled on something. We were there forever trying to figure out what we were going to spend them on. And we bought with our green stamps, S&H green stamps, we bought a little black and white television. We got home with the TV, and then we couldn't figure out exactly where it was going to go. In the end, it went into my sister April's room. which left me feeling like, hey, what the fazzizzle? I collected those things. I got a green sticky tongue over and over. Saving these things up too. How come she gets it in her room? Oh, well, we can't have it in both rooms. And I'm like, looking back, we could have had it in both rooms. We could have. It wasn't like a wall unit. It was tiny. We could have just moved it back and forth, and split the time. But we didn't. It went into April's room, and I was furious. So I guess as a pseudo solution, or maybe it was going to happen anyway, my dad buys a new TV for the family room, and then I get the old TV. So I think there was like a trickle down. New TV for the family room. The old family room TV goes to the kitchen, because we had a little TV on our fridge at one point, because we would watch Jeopardy while we were eating dinner, or before dinner, or after dinner, somewhere around dinner time. And then so the little TV that had been the one on the fridge in the kitchen went to me. Or one of them. Somehow I got a TV because my dad bought a new TV. Shortly thereafter, I was super excited. I got a color TV. Hers was black and white. I wasn't just like, okay now. I was like, yes, I got my own TV in my own room. And lasted like a week, and then it just died. And I went to my dad and I said, can I get a new TV? The one that I just got in my room died. Can I get a new TV? And my dad said, sure, you can get a new TV. And I was like, yes. And then I left and didn't think to ask for more details. And eventually I went back to him and I said, what's going on? You said I could get a new TV. And he said, yeah, I did say that you can get a new TV. Oh, a cute little play on words there, keeping me to like exactly, literally what I said. He's saying, yeah, if I could take it upon myself and get myself a new TV. And I was pretty pissed. But like several days later, I went walking around the neighborhood and I saw a garage sale. And I went to the garage sale, and there was a giant floor model TV for sale at this garage sale. And I bought it for like $3.50. A 25-inch television. What's up, David? Oh, Hyde. Thanks, man. So glad you like it. Christoph Howard, I don't think I said hello to you yet. And there was somebody else in there. Hold on now. That said something, and I didn't get to say hello yet. Sorry, now it's too far back. But so the thing was so big, a 25-inch floor model black and white television. It was huge. The screen was 25 inches. Our new one in the family room was 19. So now I had the biggest TV in the house. My dad told me you can buy a TV whenever you want. So I went around the corner and I bought one. And I brought it back on my wagon, rolling the thing all the way around on my wagon, around the block and up the driveway. And I will never forget the look on my father's face as I hauled that thing up the driveway. He's just like, you gotta be kidding me. Now I really feel like I've told you guys this story already, but that's okay. So it was so big that I needed him to help me. So now he has to help me get it in, and then we get it up and we get it into my room, and it's so big that we put it into my little room, and we can get it in there, but there's no room between it and the bed, and you can't see it because the only place to put it is on the floor, and it's right in front of the bed. And so then my dad wants me to get rid of it, and my mom is like, no, don't make him get rid of it. You told him, you did this. You told him he could buy a TV, And of course, if they had made me get rid of it, I would have been devastated again. So the solution, move me to the bigger bedroom. So what had been the guest room, which was like an attic bedroom, and the biggest bedroom, became my bedroom so that I could go up there and have my giant television. So I ended up with a big room, and I had like my bed on one side. I had fish tanks all the way around. And then on the far side, I had like a living room with my giant TV. I had like a little Pong game. I couldn't afford like an Atari or anything. Later I could, but right then I couldn't. And then I had Pong. I loved that room. And that, honestly, that shaped me. That made me realize, like, number one, don't give up, because things might turn around and change drastically. Number two, if you want something, go for it. It might work out. You might be able to get it. Don't assume you can't get stuff that you want. Go for it, man. And that seems like good news. So let's do some good news. Thank you, guys. That's very kind of you. Saying, happy to hear that story again. That's nice. Cohort 27's back with used condoms in backseat of cab. Cohort 27, how many years old are you? And how'd you get around the ban? Did you get a timeout and she let you back in? Because I think you're about to be punished again. And even if you're not, I'll just ignore whatever it is. Some good news. Okay, this is interesting. For the first time since 1977, 0 rhinos were poached in India's parks. Now, that may sound like it's not much, but for a whole year, no rhinos poached in India's parks, which has not happened since 1977. In May 2021, a new chief minister of the Indian state of Assam set out to thoroughly put an end to poaching in the state's protected areas. 20 months later, the forestry and police departments of the state have reported that 2022 saw no rhinos lost to poaching for the first time since 1977, which I think is good news. That is good news. Don't poach rhinos. Buy them in a trade, a fair trade. Don't poach them. Trade a couple of hippos. Putting them in timeouts. Okay, babe, I'll leave that to you. I'm not going to worry about it. So listen to this. There's some more info about what the areas are that have kept the rhinos safe and all that. They're parkland, and there's a lot of them that pretty much at this point cover where the rhinos inhabit. Chief Minister Sarna put together a special anti-poaching task force led by Special Director General of Police G.P. Singh. The task force created a database of past incidents of rhino poaching with details of when, how, and where they took place. Convicted poachers had their phones monitored, and local fishermen and villagers were brought on as informants. A colleague notes that the coordination has become so thorough that poacher arrest rates are now being measured weekly rather than monthly. And that type of devotion to the cause is what has led to the numbers of one-horned rhinos. I didn't know are there rhinos that have two? I guess they have a little one above the big one. The numbers of one-horned rhinos climbed from just 100 in 1910 to nearly 3,000 today. So that's good news, man. I consider that very good news. Rhinoceri consider it to be good news, even more so than I. Let's do one more good news, because I like this one too. Good news part 2. Let's enjoy the music again. Why not? It's right here. Once biologically dead, the River Mersey in England goes through Liverpool is the best environmental story in Europe. So 20 years ago, they thought that the River Mersey was biologically, they didn't think, it was biologically dead. The pollution in it was so bad, splitting the Beatles' home city of Liverpool in two. A recent survey found 37 different species of fish, more than 2.5 times as many as were found 20 years ago. No, it's before that. It's longer ago than that it was biologically dead. There was nothing living in it. 5 different species of sharks. So 37 species of fish, 5 different species of sharks, along with huge eels and sea scorpions, as well as holiday species, as one local fisherman called them, like turbot, smelt, and cod. Which is good news, unless you're somebody that, like, swims in that river often. Because you're like, wait a minute. 5 species of shark, huge eels, and sea scorpions. I don't even know what those are. But I know I don't want to go swimming with them, you know. Oh, I'm missing out on some of the chat here. I did timeouts for Connor McLaughlin in the after show chat before he got the ban hammer. So you guys had to kick him out, huh? Oh, Connor McLaughlin. All right. Well, it's good that you guys are monitoring that stuff. The idiots. Connor was a guy, a regular watcher, listener. Maybe he still is. He just can't chat anymore. Yeah, Conor McGregor is a different. And Connor McDavid is a different Connor as well. You should make a graphic for the hecklers. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. It was necessary. We gave him so many chances. It's funny. Yeah, Fancy Pants, I'm with you. Sea scorpions. What is that? Somebody look that up. What the hell is a sea scorpion? Doesn't sound like anything I want to meet in a river. When I'm fishing for turbot and cod or some Beatles paraphernalia. But very cool. Very good news, in my opinion, because, the oceans, there's so much life in there. And we've polluted them so terribly. Oceans, rivers, it literally all runs together. So the fact that they could come back so strong like that, that is good news. And that, folks, is the good news for tonight. Yep, I'm going to play it again. Play it again, Sam. Yes, I will. Yes, I did. Sorry for shouting. Work requires typing in all caps. What sort of work do you do? Are you a bold-faced liar? By the way, if you're not, I make that same little typo all the time, Laura. If you're not a total lunatic, please join the unofficial after show chat that Ms. Miskin hosts on Discord, which is great. Cohort back. Christoph Howard, what up? This is interesting. This is definitely interesting. And a good time. I'm so happy to be doing this, you guys. But it's important to me that it's just kind of a casual hang like this. And I think that's a big part of what you guys appreciate about it as well. You know what I mean? Wow, it's 10 o'clock. It's already been an hour. Already been on here for an hour. That means... Booyah! Yeah, that's what I said. Booyah. I don't know what I want to do at this point, you guys, honestly. I think I'm maybe going to call it a night after an hour. Oh my God, they get as big as a human's torso. Holy crap, it's like a lobster on steroids. Thank you, Fancy Pants, for looking that up. Ha ha. Sea scorpion. Jeez. As I said, doesn't sound like something I'd want to run into while I was swimming in a river. And by the way, word to the wise, don't go swimming in a river. I'll tell you when it's a good idea to go swimming in a river. Never a good idea. Rivers have undercurrents. So even if it looks calm up top, you might get down and then whew, scary stuff. So, swim in a pool. You want to go swimming? Put a pool in. That's what I say. Art Vandelay agrees with me 100%. I would run away from one of those. Yes, I'm with you, Patricia Bradshaw. And hello, by the way, if I didn't say hello already. Although, if you're in there with a sea scorpion, I don't think running is much of an option. Let's do another drive-by before we get into the holidays that are today. Cheers, y'all. Have a drink your beverage. Be a beer, water, beer, whiskey, beer, wine. You take a sip of yours and I take a sip of mine. Episode 38. I hope you guys are having a good time. I know I am. Drink your drink. It's time for you to drink your drink. Hope there's booty dances going on out there, folks. Boom! Welcome back to the Big News Show. It's the Big News Show. It's the Big News Show. And I don't worry, I will never do that again. Elizabeth Fahey looks like she's paying up $2. $2 for me. Thank you. So wait a minute. Thank God they are extinct? Fancy Pants, they're extinct? Hold on a second. I just read a story about how they're in this river in England. How is this possible? Yeah. 5 different species of sharks. 5 different species of shark. And huge eels and sea scorpions. Oh, this just in from ConCon. The Kansas City Chiefs are on their way to the Super Bowl. Congratulations, KC. I will see you on the weekend in between now and then. Kelf says oarfish are really weird. They look prehistoric. Oh, we're getting more blow-ups here. Hold on. This just in. Or not in yet. It's from Laura Misgan again. Mrs. Misgan. I gotta wait for it to, roll. It's weird. When you guys do the, give me the tips there, they show up halfway first, and it takes a second for the rest of it to pop up. So I can see by the highlights that you've tipped, but I don't. And it's $5. Booyah! Booty dance for the drive-by. Nice. Deathstruction says, yes, sea scorpions were a Devonian species. Well, okay. First of all, no one knows what that means. Second of all, this is a new news story. They found them in a once biologically dead river in England. Yeah. Deathstruction, how do you know so much about this? Sea scorpions, Devonian species? How do you know about this? Is this what you do? Are you Art Vandelay, marine biologist? Let me know. I'm curious. And in the meantime... we're going to go ahead with Sunday, Sunday, folks. If you don't know already, it's a segment we do at the end of every episode in which we celebrate the several ridiculous holidays that are taking place on whatever day it is. Today, it's today, of course, Sunday, January 29th, in the year 2023. Jeremy Wade's Oarfish Encounter. Oh, I hope that was at least a good game. The sea scorpion appeared at the beginning of the Ordovician period, about 488 million years ago, and became extinct at the end of the Permian period, about 251 million years ago. Fancy pants. You are wearing some seriously fancy pants right now. Wow. There's something walled a water scorpion. Apparently, its bite is painful. Interesting. Zontag, everybody. Celebrating strange holidays. Today, of course, most days have several, if not many, strange holidays. Today, of course, is no exception. It is Sunday, January 29th, a day known as National Puzzle Day. January 29th is National Puzzle Day, the perfect day to do a little brain exercise, everybody. Whether it's a crossword, jigsaw, or Sudoku, puzzles engage our brain in more ways than one. Scientists have discovered that when we work on a jigsaw puzzle, we utilize both sides of the brain simultaneously, improving memory, cognitive function, and problem-solving skills in the process. By utilizing puzzles, people can stimulate the brain and improve a number of skills. Thanks, Elizabeth. Puzzles go back, by the way, to ancient Egypt, 2300 BC, way before modern puzzles. Labyrinth drawing puzzles, so like mazes, were popular in ancient Egypt a very long time ago, which is pretty cool. The first jigsaw puzzle was made by a map maker, John Spilsbury, who promptly spilled his drink all over it and had to make another one. The very first jigsaw puzzle in the year 1767. In the early 1900s, 1908, puzzles became a full-blown craze in the United States. That's how exciting things were back then. During the Great Depression, puzzles sales soared to 10 million per week. I guess they're kind of affordable and time-consuming. So there's a little info about puzzles on this National Puzzles Day. Do a puzzle. If you guys haven't done a puzzle, go do a puzzle. I'm going to do one. I do the mini crossword every day. Emma and I, we finish the day with the mini crossword. Emma loves puzzles. That's true. She does. Schadenfreude, that explains it. I've felt puzzled all day. Well, the puzzle has been solved about why you're feeling so puzzled. Say, hey, it's Sports Center, na. And not wearing any pants. Excellent. Welcome to the show, Pantless. Don Goller, who has time for puzzles? Oh, come on, you got to make time for things like puzzles. Cool, didn't know that explains the weird passages in the pyramids. Yeah. Maybe that's how they started. You know, they were drawing the maps and trying to find their way through. I guess they were doing that in sand, or did they have pencils and paper? Kevin Rubel, what's up? Didn't see your name until now. Puzzles and comics are the only reason I buy a paper. I used to do the Star Ledger, was the Jersey paper. The Newark Star Ledger. I would get that and I would play. I used to deliver the Daily Record, but I would get the Star Ledger just to do the crossword puzzle. And I did the New York Times crossword puzzle for a long time. And now, as I started to say, Emma and I, we do word puzzles every night. We do the mini, on the New York Times app, we do the mini crossword. Then we do the spelling bee, which is like make as many words as you can out of a pool of 7 letters. And that one's really interesting. Sometimes it's just immediately obvious, and other times rarely do I not get it. Okay, one time. And I do the Wordle. You guys do the Wordle? Are you guys Wordle peeps? Yes, you can pick up a puzzle. For National Puzzle Day, you guys should pick up a puzzle with Sparklebark on it. Wait a minute. Laura Misgan says, Kevin and I met because of a crossword puzzle. No way. That sounds like a good story. A story that nerds will love from now until the end of time. There's always a puzzle on the ferries in Washington State. You can do your part on your crossing. Interesting. What do you mean, like a paper that's just left on a seat? Okay, Fancy Pants has an update on the sea scorpions. There is a sea scorpion today that gets as big as 1 meter in length. The one I was reading that's extinct got as big as 4 meters in length. Okay, but they're still out there, and that's pretty damn big. Holy shit. Fahey is signing off, it sounds like. Thank you. Thanks for hanging. We'll see you next Sunday. I would do them with a pen, Marta, to answer your question. When I was doing the puzzles in the newspapers, I would do them with a pen. Although, admittedly, I often regretted it. A handful of times I would regret it. I was just very careful before I wrote anything in. So I would end up with the whole puzzle in my head before I filled it in. I had to confirm everything over and over, and then I just write the whole thing in. Viewer question from Don Goller. He labeled it as a viewer question, so I recognized it right away. Do you play chess? I have played chess. I know how to play chess. I had a period in my life where I enjoyed it a little bit. Several comedians, we all got into playing chess at the Cellar there for a little while. But other than that, I never really put much time into it. So I can, but I'm not very good at it. I am not a very good chess player. And I also think that, if it's like a competition to see who can memorize the moves the best, that sort of takes a bit of the fun. Maybe if I was capable or put the time in to do that, I might feel differently about it. But it feels like something's lost when everyone's just repeating moves because they know what's going to happen. Sports Center, na. I deliver 2 newspapers. Really? 2 different newspapers, 450 of them starting at 3 a.m., 7 days a week before the pandemic, now only 6 days. Wow, you are up early. Sports Center, na. Yeah, it's 3 nas and then 3 nas. So it's Sports Center, na. Delivering papers, you are up early. Man, oh man, I can't believe you're still awake. Kelf likes Wordscape. Lance O wants a link to the scorpion. You know what we could do? I could look it up. I'm really silly. It just is occurring to me now that I could actually look things up online here and show them to you. Sea scorpion. Here we go. And then we switch over to web scroll. Yeah, it looks like a lobster. Look at that. There's a guy holding one there. Can you guys see that clearly? I guess it's kind of small. But there you go. BLKMN. Is that short for black man? Block man? LOL, you have a whole bit just because someone said viewer question. Yeah, I got a viewer question graphic and everything, man. Don't make me play it again. I will. Welcome aboard, BLK man. Sudoku puzzles are my favorites, says Desi. I actually like those. Initially, when I looked at it, I was like, these are impossible. How could anyone even... I don't even understand. But I was overdoing. I was making it making more out of it than there is. It's actually simpler than I thought, and I think a fair number of people make the same mistake I made. I thought there was like a lot of math involved. $5 from SportsCenter. No. And that gets you a blow up. What do you think of that? Be okay, man. I got a blow up thing too when somebody gives me money. You could pay me and I'll show you again. Other holidays. On to the next holiday. Today is also, it's not just National Puzzle Day. It is Curmudgeon's Day. The word curmudgeon is defined by the American Heritage Dictionary as an ill-tempered, disagreeable, and quarrelsome person. We disagree with the curmudgeons in our lives the entire year, right? Well, today, on January 29th, we honor them. So, go and find your local curmudgeon. Maybe you live with them. Maybe they're sitting on the porch. Maybe they've been in the bathroom for an hour and a half. Maybe they're at the local grocery store or gas station or whatever. You're supposed to acknowledge them today. Give them a hug. Give them a hug and say, I know you're an asshole, but you're still okay. Curmudgeon's Day is celebrated. Now, this is one of the more interesting aspects of this to me. First of all, it's pretty interesting that we would bother to have a day when you like the grouch. But you know what? They're just grouchy. They're just in a bad mood. Movie quote. No, I'm not. I've just been in a bad mood for the last 40 years. Lance-O says it's my day. Lance-O is a curmudgeon. There's a movie quote in there, guys. Feel free to take a guess. Here's a cool part about Curmudgeon Day, other than the fact that we're honoring people who, don't get a lot of praise. Curmudgeon's Day is celebrated on the anniversary of the birth of American actor, comedian, writer, and juggler William Claude Dukenfield, better known as W.C. Fields, the curmudgeon of curmudgeons. He finessed the persona of a curmudgeon with his comic acts and became one of the best-known entertainers of his time. W.C. Fields portrayed cantankerous and antisocial characters throughout his life while maintaining his absolute affinity for alcohol and his disdain for dogs and children. Oh, my God. He really is the original curmudgeon. How do you hate dogs and kids, you dick? His juggling acts became world famous as he toured. I never knew he was a juggler. It's crazy. So cool. His juggling acts became world famous as he toured all across America and the 7 seas. He's fucking Sinbad. Dude was like Sinbad. Across the 7 seas, making Queen Victoria one of his attendees. In his 4 decades as an entertainer, Fields acted in dozens of films and became a household name. Fields died at the age of 66 and left behind one of the greatest legacies any entertainer ever has. I'd say that's true. We all know him. And this is a long time ago. He was born in 1880. So on Curmudgeon's Day, you can either sit at home and be grouchy, like you can be a curmudgeon. That's part of the day. If you want to be a curmudgeon today, even when you aren't normally, you can do that today. So go for it. Comes naturally to me, so I just did it anyway. Or you can take a stroll around the neighborhood to greet all the grumpy people you can find. You can also take a quick scan of your social media and reach out to the grumps from your high school. Better yet, make a cup of tea for a coworker who'd shed a limb before sharing a smile. Whatever you do, don't let the grump slip away from you. I like it, man. And I like the more detailed delving into the holidays. We used to do that a little bit more than we have of late. And we've got one more holiday, which, you know what? I think we should play this again just for a minute. Just to remind you guys that we are, in fact, doing Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. So far, we have National Puzzle Day and Curmudgeon's Day. Boom! Let me know if that was too loud for you guys. It was pretty loud on this end. In addition to puzzles and curmudgeons, it is also Free Thinkers Day. Also, on the day celebrating the birth of someone, and that someone was Thomas Paine. Paine is a well-known thinker whose works and books, which expanded on a philosophy of enlightenment, enormously affected the course of the French and American revolutions. Paine was a noble and bold man whose entire life work was inspiring and a strong motivation for those who yearned to find their independence. His efforts especially promoted the rejection of abstract authority that symbolized power and self-promotion over motive. I like this guy. Although Paine was English-born at the request of Benjamin Franklin, he came to America in 1774. Paine's many significant books and pamphlets throughout his life included Common Sense, The Age of Reason, and The Rights of Man. He was also one of the first persons to call for universal human rights and an end to slavery. Paine's writing has inspired a lot of other activists to seek their political, economic, and social progression. Free Thinkers Day. Dude got a holiday. Sounds like he deserved it. Let's do this.
It's National Puzzle Day, so find a grumpy old bastard that you don't really like to hang out with and sit around and frown at each other while you try to find a missing piece. When you're done with that, you think about your freedom and how much it means to you, and how human rights are super important to a guy like Thomas Paine. So take a minute and be a free thinker while you're doing a puzzle with a grumpy old bastard.
Super fun, you guys. The volume level serves its purpose for the content. All right, so it's a little bit loud, but it's good. Cool, fair enough. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's program. I certainly did. Super fun. Super good hang. I like that I put a little more effort in. I hope you guys appreciate it. And I like how some of the new segments are coming along. And, I'm excited. We're going to keep this thing going, you guys. Super great hang. Have a great week. We will see you next Sunday. We will not see you.